I'm Mary Alice Hudson, and I appreciate your interest in my dissertation, which is entitled Evaluation of a Multifaceted Robotics-Based Intervention Designed to Increase Student Interest in STEM and Development of Computational Thinking Skills. Before I begin, I'd like to thank Ross and Lita for their ongoing encouragement and support. I'd also like to thank my committee members, Dr. Chang and Dr. Rice, for their thoughtful feedback which led to many valuable improvements in my work. And finally, I'd like to thank my committee chair, Dr. Beck, who has provided a tremendous amount of guidance and support and patiently answered my seemingly endless questions. I am thankful Dr. Beck agreed to be the advisor for my innovative experience 4 years ago because my IE was the beginning of this journey for me. I was presented with an opportunity to facilitate an educational robotics program at the same time that I needed an IE. The two things fell together, and facilitating and evaluating that program became my introduction to educational robotics. The output of my innovative experience revealed high levels of engagement and growth in participating students, as well as deficits in our program and ideas for improvement. This experience led to my commitment to using educational robotics to effect positive change in elementary education classrooms and provided the basis for my dissertation. My IE found that exposure to educational robotics did not result in student understanding of robotics in the real world or interest in robotics or STEM as a career pathway. The desire to generate this student learning led to my further exploration of the literature in search of ways to promote student learning. Literature review led me to the concept of computational thinking, which is the use of abstraction, automation, and analysis to take a complex problem, understand what the problem is, and develop possible solutions which can be implemented using a computer. The literature also pointed to the need to grow students in terms of STEM attitudes and computational thinking skills, as both are projected to be in high demand in the future workforce. This helped me form the purpose of my dissertation, which was to grow elementary age students interested in STEM subjects and careers and development of computational thinking skills. However, it did not provide me with the means of promoting this growth. After further reflection and reading, I came to the conclusion that an intervention was needed that was specifically designed to promote elementary age students' interest in STEM subjects and careers and development of computational thinking skills. The theory of constructionism provided the foundation for the creation of this intervention. However, I had learned from my IE that many students lack the background knowledge necessary to fully benefit from self-directed learning. Therefore, I continued to read and look for ways to provide students with scaffolding to support their learning. This led to the creation of a multifaceted robotics-based intervention designed to saturate student exposure to STEM subjects and careers and computational thinking skills through participation in educational robotics during the regular school day. The components of this intervention were weekly We Do Lego Robotics building and coding sessions facilitated by trained teachers and volunteers, an independent classroom STEM learning center, the use of the Use, Modify, Create learning progression, and a student robotics showcase. This intervention was grounded in Seymour Papert's theory of constructionism, which promotes learning by making and maintains that students can learn deeply when they have access to a resource-rich environment, construct a public physical artifact, and reflect on their building and learning experience. Based on constructionist theory, each element of this intervention was selected to saturate students in information about STEM subjects and careers and opportunities to use and develop computational thinking skills. The intervention was implemented during the regular school day as an extra activity. This is a common method of ensuring elementary age students have equal access to educational robotics opportunities. We Do Lego Robotics was selected for this intervention based on its appropriateness for the student population and goals of the research. During implementation of this intervention, students worked in static pairs to complete the We Do Lego Robotics building and coding activities and create a novel robot for the student robotics showcase. This configuration was selected based on research that indicates working with a partner fosters collaboration, self-expression, problem-solving, enhanced social skills, and critical and innovative thinking. The Use, Modify, Create learning progression proposed by Lee and colleagues in 2011 was selected for inclusion in this intervention because it's designed to scaffold student learning and exploration of computational thinking concepts and grow students from users to creators of computational products. According to Lee, when students are able to create designs and coding of their own, they are displaying clear evidence of computational thinking. Student participation in an intervention-focused classroom learning center was determined to be a desirable addition to this intervention. Classroom learning centers, which are commonplace at the research site, are commonly used to create opportunities for students to participate in self-directed learning and can be differentiated to meet individual needs and to scaffold and focus student learning. The use of classroom learning centers at the research site, as well as research indicating their value in teaching robotic skills, made a STEM and computational thinking focused learning center an appropriate addition to this intervention. The final element of this robotics-based intervention was a student robotics showcase. Research has shown students are highly motivated by and enjoy opportunities to share their robotics knowledge in a public or competitive setting. Therefore, the culminating activity of this intervention, a student robotics showcase, allowed students to display, demonstrate, and explain the designs and code of their robotics creation to an audience of their teachers, peers, and parents. The intervention was implemented and action research undertaken to answer the following research questions. Research question 1. What is the impact of a robotics-based intervention on elementary age students' interest in STEM subjects and careers? And research question 2. What is the impact of a robotics-based intervention on elementary age students' computational thinking skills? Participants in this study were 37 second and third grade students from 2 classrooms in a rural Title I elementary school in the southeastern United States. Students participated in intervention-related activities for 2 hours per week for a total of 16 weeks. Students participated in We Do Lego Robotics building and coding sessions with trained teachers and volunteers for 1 hour per week, and Classroom Learning Center activities 3 times per week for 20 minutes per session. Students participated in buddy reading on Tuesdays, online activities related to STEM or computational thinking on Wednesdays, and weekly We Do Lego Robotics reflection activities on Thursdays. To assess the effect of this intervention, quantitative and qualitative data were collected. All students completed 2 pre- and post-intervention assessments designed to assess STEM attitudes and interests, and a pre- and post-test designed to assess student development of computational thinking skills. Additional post-intervention data were collected from student STEM notebooks, which were completed as part of their work in the Classroom Learning Center, and 12 students participated in one-on-one artifact-based interviews. Data analysis indicated the intervention had a positive impact on elementary age students' interest in STEM subjects and careers. Quantitative data analysis indicated a statistically significant increase with a moderate to large effect size in composite STEM attitude scores from pre to post test. Likewise, analysis of data collected from post-intervention artifact-based interviews indicated students had a positive attitude towards STEM subjects. Students indicated they believed it was important to learn STEM in school because STEM knowledge will benefit them in the future. Together, these data indicate the intervention had a positive effect on student interest in and attitude towards STEM subjects. Quantitative data analysis revealed no statistically significant change in STEM career attitude scores from pre to post test. However, student responses to a pre and post intervention career interest writing and drawing activity revealed a statistically significant increase in the number of students who expressed interest in STEM careers. This assessment also revealed a statistically significant increase in the number of students who believe STEM skills will be required for their future career. Data analysis indicated an increased understanding of STEM and the need for STEM knowledge in both STEM and non-STEM career fields. Additionally, artifact-based student interviews indicated students believe STEM careers are important both for them as individuals and for the world. Together, these data indicate the intervention had a positive impact on student interest in and attitude toward STEM careers. To answer sub-question number 3, students were asked how they learned so much about STEM. Students indicated they had learned about STEM at school through intervention-specific activities, including books in their classroom learning centers, We Do Lego Robotics building and coding sessions, and their teachers. The multifaceted intervention implemented in this research directly contributed to these findings. Because of the constructionist nature of this intervention, students were saturated in STEM, but able to explore STEM at their own pace and through experiences of their own choosing. This was true of the We Do Lego Robotics projects they chose to complete during the weekly building and coding sessions, as well as the books they chose to read in their classroom learning centers. This saturation helped students with no background knowledge to begin learning about STEM at the ground floor and allowed those with background knowledge to advance in areas of personal interest. All students reported they enjoyed and experienced success with robotics. Students were given the time, tools, and support to discover the joy of building and programming a robot that looked and moved the way they wanted it to. The use of the Use, Modify, Create learning progression helps scaffold student building and coding experiences, ensuring they experience success and develop confidence in their own skills and learning. This, in conjunction with the robotics showcase, which allowed students to share and show off their learning, was very powerful. Every student interviewed said they enjoyed the building and coding sessions and loved the robotics showcase. STEM-speaking adults played an important role in these results as well. For most students, the volunteers were the first engineers or scientists they had met who talked to them about their profession and its value. This exposure, coupled with access to a wide range of STEM reading materials, allowed students to reimagine and expand their future goals. This was clearly illustrated by the increase in the number of students who indicated they wanted to become scientists, increasing from 0 to 5, and the number of students who said they wanted to become engineers, which increased from 1 to 4. The pre-intervention career choices of these students represented professions that are familiar, such as teachers and police officers. Following exposure to this intervention, in which students had the opportunity to meet and work with volunteers who were employed in a variety of science and engineering fields, the opportunities to read about a variety of STEM fields, caused student responses to change. These findings indicate student participation in this multifaceted robotics-based intervention had a positive impact on student attitude towards STEM subjects and careers. Data analysis indicates this multifaceted robotics-based intervention had a positive impact on elementary-age students' computational thinking skills. Quantitative data analysis revealed a statistically significant increase with a large effect size in computational thinking test scores from pre-test to post-test. Student qualitative responses, both written and oral, indicated student use of computational thinking skills in the form of abstraction, automation, and analysis. Together, these data indicate the intervention had a positive impact on student development of computational thinking skills. To answer sub-question 2, students were asked how they learned so much about robots. During artifact-based interviews, students mentioned learning about robots through intervention-related activities including teachers, weekly We Do Lego Robotics building and coding sessions, volunteers, robotics books, and We Do Lego Robotics partners. The intervention implemented in this research directly contributed to these findings. The development of this intervention was heavily influenced by Seymour Papert's theory of constructionism. We Do Lego Robotics, which requires the use of computational thinking skills, is an ideal constructionist medium because students can immediately see the results of their decisions. Papert would describe educational robotics as objects to think with, because they provide immediate feedback which allows students to create and then cyclically test, analyze, and refine their creations. This is a cycle which promotes deep thinking and construction of knowledge. Learning by reflection is another primary principle of constructionism and has been shown to be an effective way to promote deep thinking in student learning. Therefore, students participated in classroom learning center activities, including reflective writing and drawing activities, following each weekly building session. While some students did not enjoy the written reflection activities, others reported enjoying them and the opportunity to think about and revisit what they had built and learned. Evidence of thoughtful reflection can be seen in STEM notebooks and in artifact-based interview responses. This constructionist principle was critical to the success of this intervention as it encouraged students to think deeply about their learning. Evidence of the Use, Modify, Create learning progression can be seen in STEM notebooks as well as artifact-based interview responses about weekly We Do Lego Robotic building and coding sessions, and in the robotics showcase. All students completed project modification drawings in their STEM notebooks. When asked about weekly We Do Lego Robotics sessions, written responses indicated all students used the instructions provided by the We Do Lego Robotics program, and all were able to explain what they had built and what it did. Most students indicated they had made at least one modification to their robots. All student pairs recorded their robotics showcase robot plans in their STEM notebooks. Likewise, all pairs successfully created and presented a robot for the showcase. Data collection from artifact-based interviews indicated 10 of the 12 students interviewed created novel robotic designs for the showcase, and 2 modified existing designs. Likewise, 2 reported modifying existing code, and 10 reported creating new code for their showcase robots. All students were able to explain and discuss their programming decisions, indicating understanding of the commands used and development of computational thinking skills. All students indicated they tested their robots, and 10 made coding or building modifications based on these tests. These findings indicate use of the Use, Modify, Create learning progression promoted student development of computational thinking skills and is a critical facet of this intervention. The final element of the intervention, a student robotics showcase, was implemented to provide students with the opportunity to construct a public physical artifact. All students enjoyed the showcase and reported creating or modifying robotic designs and programs to display in the showcase. When asked about the robotics showcase, the best part about the showcase was evenly split between students. Half said they liked seeing all of the other projects, and half said they liked showing people their projects and receiving compliments on them. Based on the literature, I anticipated students would be highly engaged in participation in the robotics showcase, but it was unexpected to discover students were equally interested in viewing the projects of other students. They enjoyed discussing the project's designs and coding with their peers. It's my belief this stems from their growing understanding of robotics and computational thinking, which allowed them to appreciate and knowledgeably discuss the various designs and programs created by their peers. These constructionist elements directly contributed to student development of computational thinking skills. The findings of this research support the appropriateness of grounding this intervention in constructionism. The final question asked of students was, is there anything else you'd like to share about STEM or robotics? 2 students summed up the goal of this research perfectly when one said he was able to create a robot for the robotics showcase because he had learned to build and program using We Do Lego Robotics during the weekly building and coding sessions, and another said that we can learn from doing it. These students' insights are a perfect summation of the constructionist philosophy at the heart of this intervention. Students can learn by making and doing. Data analysis indicate this intervention caused positive changes in student interest in and attitude towards STEM subjects and careers and development of computational thinking skills. Critical elements identified include STEM-speaking adults who are focused on the goals of the research, constructionist building and coding opportunities, opportunities to work with and learn from peers, classroom learning center activities, which included access to robotics and STEM reading materials and opportunities for student reflection, use of the Use, Modify, Create learning progression, and student participation in a robotics showcase. This research presents an easy to implement, cost and time-effective method for promoting young students' learning of these concepts. This multifaceted robotics-based intervention can be integrated into elementary classrooms in as little as 2 hours per week for 16 weeks and has been shown to promote student acquisition of positive attitudes towards STEM subjects and careers and computational thinking skills. Teachers who have the desire and commitment to promote student development of these concepts can implement this intervention with the expectation that it will positively impact student learning. Time and money are common barriers. However, this research provides a strong case for committing both to this endeavor. These outcomes and their positive impact on student academic and career success can be used to make a strong case for committing time and resources to the implementation of this multifaceted robotics-based intervention. Thank you for your time and attention, and I look forward to your questions.